Oh, Lizzie, my friend, how are you?
I'm doing so well. I can't even describe it, man. It's really nutty.
Well, I'll tell you first and foremost, as always, it's an honor to share the airwaves with you. I appreciate you taking some time for me.
Of course, Carlin. You're part of this with us, man, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time for me for all these years, man, and for tweeting me and other various forms of communication.
No question. Thank God we have those options these days, you know?
Definitely.
So, get this. So less than 48 hours ago, you, RJ, Joe, and Josh became Grammy Award-winning artists.
Yeah, isn't that weird? It's so weird. It's funny because we were just running on adrenaline as soon as we found out. Well, okay, I'm just going to back up for a second because we didn't expect this at all, and at all, to the point where literally the first time that we had said to each other, "Well, what if we win?" was literally 2 categories before they were going to announce our category. And my guitar player says, what if we went, should we have a list? I don't know, what do we do? If that happens, I'm and I turned on no, look, we're already pushing our luck by actually getting the nomination. We're just not going to win. There's too many heavy hitters. We thought Lamb of God was going to win,
Sure.
So we didn't even, and so they said it, right? They said, I don't even remember hearing it. I remember listening. But all I heard was Love Bites, and in my head I'm who's Love Bites? They weren't in the oh my God, that's us. And all I heard was my own scream in my head, and my mom's freaking out next to me, and I'm tripping over my dress and I'm very unladylike running to the stage in my heels, and then obviously my brain was mush. There was nothing intelligent that I said.
Well, I'll say this. If the word shocked was a good adjective to describe your reaction to that night in Madison when Joe informed you of the nomination, what words are radio appropriate to give us an idea of how it felt when the presenter opened that envelope? And actually the words were, Love Bites, So Do I, Hailstorm.
Yeah, what the hell? Well, it's funny because RJ, his true Midwestern came out, and the first thing out of his mouth was, Christ. That's something that our grandpa says, in the garage when he hits his hand with a hammer. It's just one of those things, man, and we just didn't expect it. And everybody afterward, because as soon as they pulled us up the stage, and we're getting the little blinky light, please wrap it up, wrap it up light, And we go off the stage, and we're getting shuffled around all the press rooms. And my God, it was it's just crazy. And everybody said, okay, so that was the most genuine reaction that we've seen in 20 years. You guys really, really had no idea you were going to win. Did you? We're yeah, I had no clue. So it's just such a cool thing, man. And Andy, I hope you take this to heart. Thank you so much for everything over the years. And it's a village. It takes a village to break a band. We've been a band for 16 years. I've been doing this since I was 13 years old. And it took so many people. It's all these people that gave us a chance that when we had nothing, we still have nothing. I mean, we got a Grammy before we went gold, for heaven's sake. Before I own a house, before I have a car, before I have any kids, before I get married, before there's all these things that it's just so incredible, man. And just this milestone is everybody's milestone, and it just proves that, it's validation that everybody that helped us out along the way, and and just gave a chance to a couple kids. It's validation that we're all not as crazy as maybe we thought we were at the time.
No, not at all. And knowing you and the guys as long as I've known you, I got to tell you, watching the 4 of you literally skipping like school children up that aisle on your way to the stage to accept the Grammy, watching your gears spin as you desperately searched for what you wanted to say in your big moment, easily the most enjoyable 2.5 minutes of my Sunday.
Oh, I'm so glad, man. I'm so glad. You have no idea. While we were up on stage, I had my phone in that little clutch thing and whatever my purse was that I drug up with me, and it was buzzing the entire time we were on stage. It did not stop until the next day, when I had 100 emails, and it's just so cool. I've been talking to people that I haven't talked to in 11 years. I'm getting contacted from old club owners, and the guy that sold me my first guitar, and
oh, wow.
It's amazing. It's amazing to really sit down today, and let it sink in and just be like, look, it's what an incredible journey,
And you actually thanked your fellow nominees, too, which is a pretty rare thing to remember while all of that is going on.
I mean, at least I said something right?
You did.
It's funny because this particular genre was such a key point in us actually even writing the song "Love Bites." Specifically, we now granted we have to slow it down to like half speed, but we've been learning Lamb of God riff to become better musicians. So, and if it wasn't for that type of, that record that they were nominated for, we probably would not have, written the song "Love Bites." We were in love with the tempo of it, and my guitar player Joe was heavily influenced by that stuff, and she ended up writing a riff inspired by the fact that we were listening to that record, and then rewind, a few years, and I used to listen to freaking Iron Maiden with my dad, it's Iron Maiden and Megadeth, and I got this, amazing, tweet from Dave Mustaine congratulating us. It's just,
wow.
This is an incredible community, and we all influence each other, and, so just to be a part of this and to win it, everybody was so incredibly deserving, and we would not have written the song, and we would not have been in that category without the rest of these people, so... it is really their triumph, too. They inspired this.
Grammy Award-winning singer and songwriter LZZY HALE, that sounds pretty nice. Of the great Hailstorm is my special guest, as if we needed any more reason to be excited to see you and the guys at this year's LAZERfest on May 10, Lizzie.
Yeah, I am so excited about that, man. I'm like, this is what I'm looking forward to. Is, okay, now we got the Grammys out of the way. Now we get to,
exactly.
Now we get to go back on tour, and we got the summer festivals, we got LAZERfest coming up. We get to see all you guys again. I'm like, now I'm antsy. Like today, I'm like, okay, when's the next date? When are we going out on tour? So it's awesome. It's going to be great. What a great year,
Yes, it has been. Hailstorm's third appearance at LAZERfest. Over the years, you've made some pretty awesome memories, and you've built one hell of a dedicated fan base here in Iowa.
Dude, okay, so Iowa. You guys are an integral part of actually making our first record, because I remember coming through for the first time when we just had a 5-song EP, one and done, and you guys, dude, it was Iowa. It was Iowa rock fans that we ended up selling out of 594 copies. We did some weird FYE record in the district or whatever it was, and the label that was kind of saying, oh, we'll just put them out on the road, see what happens. We're like, oh my God, we have to get them into a studio and do an actual record.
You bet.
Because those numbers. So Iowa, you were a huge part in our journey, and I can't wait to celebrate with you guys.
I've still got my one-and-done EP. You bet I do. Speaking of fan base, amazing how these opportunities that have been presented to you in recent months have really expanded the growth into all these new areas, like the Glee audience, like the interview with Playboy, even your guest appearances on records like Adrenaline Mob and David Draymond's Device as well,
It's wonderful. I mean, this is what I love about being... This is why I'm still doing this. This is why I love being in this business, is because every door that opens, it's like, do you remember those books, Choose Your Own Adventure?
Of course.
It's like one big book, a Choose Your Own Adventure book, because with every door that opens, it just, there's a fork in the road, and you can go left or right, and whatever you choose, more opportunities open up. And so I've really fallen in love with the chase of this thing, and every couple months something new happens, and then more doors open up, and then you have to decide where you want to go, and when in reality it really doesn't matter as long as you're moving forward. But it's so incredible, and I'm honored to be on Adrenaline Mob thing, and then we just did I just did something with David Draymond that's about to be released, and the Glee thing was okay. So here's what the wonderful thing about the Glee thing is, that now you come to a Hailstorm show, and you get the hearts and the horns,
yes.
the little teeny boppers with their hands that are shaped like a heart. You get those kids now at the Hailstorm show. and then you get the guys with the metal horns. It's great. It's a wonderful combination.
Good music is good music, Lizzie. You know, speaking of David, he's also playing this year's LAZERfest, which should be a lot of fun.
I know, and he hasn't said anything to me yet, but you never know. I might end up crashing.
Well, in the past, you've been no stranger to collaborating with other artists. You know, Sean from KAZR in 2010 comes to mind.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Man, love that man, by the way. You know, I really do feel like, you know, this little sister of rock. I really do. You know, these guys have, you know, opened their arms to us. You know, we're the new kids on the block, really, you know, because these guys, you know, even though we have been doing it for 16 years, like these guys have been plugging away far longer than we have, and it's wonderful to just be a part of that community, you know, and there is something about, you know, a pierced up and tattooed up looking dudes, you know, in any of this, you know, always calling me darling, and they're just the nicest boys ever. I think the scarier looking they are, the nicer they are.
You would know, Lizzie, although you bring out the best in everybody I know, so...
Oh, you're so sweet.
There you have it. We're 87 days and counting to LAZERfest, Friday, May 10 at the Central Iowa Expo. And you do have a little bit of time off to let the Grammy win sink in a little bit and stretch your legs, right?
Well, technically, I mean, I'm still in L.A. We're here till the 17th. I'm doing vocals today for a cover EP. Cool. So we're putting another one of those out soon, and then we go home for like 2 days after the 17th, and then Joe and I fly to Sweden for the Bandit Awards, and then we come back. We go out on tour with Blur for My Valentine, and then we got, you know, LAZERfest and all the festivals this summer. So yeah, this is a great way to start out the year because it's just going to get even. If I thought it couldn't get any crazier, it's about to.
Well, I tell you what, from the bottom of my heart, Lizzie, I couldn't be more happy for you and the guys. You know, the Grammy win was just the next in a long series of great achievements for this band. I know you guys gave me some static when I interviewed you in 2010 and gave you the old, you guys are kind of a big deal bit, but you're kind of a big deal.
Oh, well, thank you, sweetheart, very much. You know, my brother cracked me up the other day because we were in one of the press rooms, and one of the questions was, you know, do you think that this is going to change your perspective or your approach to creating music? And you know, I said, well, no, you know, we're going to keep doing what we love, and that's about it. And I said it may change our approach to, you know, politically how we approach everything. And my brother took the reins of that one. He's like, yeah, you know, let's ask Mr. Grammy if he likes this song. Mr. Grammy, do you like this song? Oh, I think Mr. Grammy says yes. So we're going to
can always count on RJ, you know.
Always count on him to pull out something. But yeah, it's just such an amazing honor, and I'm happy to be representing our genre and all the hard work that all of you guys put out to support bands like us. So you know, this is for all of us.
Yeah, we'll look forward to celebrating with you on May 10th. Do me a huge favor, give my best to the guys. And, you know, for you, happy Valentine's Day, Lizzie.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. I appreciate you taking some time for me.
Oh, hey, thanks you. Dude, it's incredible, and we're going to have to do a little celebrating when I see you at LAZERfest.
Bring some Yingling with you.
Oh, hell yes.
We don't get that here in Iowa, so if you bring some with, I guarantee I'll have some with you.
All right. Well, I will do my best to get a case. Maybe I can call and maybe they'll give me some.
I'm telling you, how about it? I'm all about it. Lizzie, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you very soon.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart.